It's the only other time I've heard a reference Rush as the reference to the sexual experience
Yeah,
in R&B music, period. And then he came back and said,
and changed it for his own rendition.
for his own version.
YoungBoy just walked Von's Killer out in front of thousands of people, and nobody stopped him. Not his label. Not his team. Not a single person in that building had the guts to say what everyone was thinking. Lil Tum, the man that the streets hold responsible for King Von's blood, was standing on that stage, mic in hand, smiling, while Von City watched in silence. And now? Now 50 Cent has seen enough. You think this is just rap beef? You think this is just 2N************* going back and forth on Instagram? No. What just happened in Atlanta is allegedly the most disrespectful power move this generation has ever seen in hip-hop, and the fact that it happened in the exact city where Von died should make every single person watching this feel something cold in their chest right now. Because here is the part that nobody is saying: 50 is not just reacting. According to sources close to the situation, 50 is allegedly positioning himself in this war deliberately, strategically, like he always does. And when 50 moves with a purpose, someone always ends up exposed. Stay right here, because in 60 seconds this gets dangerous. To understand why 50's reaction hit different, you have to go back. Not to last week. Not to the concert. You have to go back to November 6, 2020. A cold Atlanta night outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge where King Von, one of the most gifted storytellers this generation of rap ever produced, took his last breath on a parking lot pavement at 26 years old. That night did not just take a rapper. That night allegedly took the one person who could have changed the entire trajectory of Chicago drill music, and the streets never forgot it. Lil Durk never forgot it. OTF never forgot it. And based on what is allegedly happening right now, it is becoming very clear that 50 Cent never forgot it either. King Von was not just popular. He was feared in the best possible way. His music felt like confessions from someone who had already seen too much and was trying to process it through bars before the world caught up with him. Duffel bag. Took her to the O. Crazy story. These were not just songs, they were documents. Real streets, real names, real consequences wrapped in melodies that made millions of people feel like they were standing right next to him. And when he died, something cracked open in hip-hop that has never fully healed. Because his death was not clean, it was not random, and the circumstances surrounding it allegedly involved people who are still very much active in this industry right now. Now here is where it gets interesting. NBA YoungBoy, Kentrell Golden from Baton Rouge, has always been a polarizing figure. Love him or hate him, the numbers do not lie. The man moves units. He moves streams. He moves crowds. And in 2025, he is on his Massa tour, selling out arenas across the country, proving to every label executive who ever doubted him that he does not need a major to win. But winning in music and winning in the court of public opinion are two very different things. And what YoungBoy allegedly did at his Atlanta show has reportedly cost him something that streaming numbers cannot buy back. Because YoungBoy did not just perform in Atlanta. He allegedly brought Lil Tum on that stage. For those who do not know the name, and you need to know it, Lil Tum, government name Timothy Leaks, is the individual who was charged in connection with King Von's murder in 2020. The charges were eventually dropped under a self-defense claim. Legally, he walked free. But the streets operate on a different court system, one where dropped charges do not mean innocence, and where showing up on a stage in the exact city where Von was killed is not just a performance choice. According to sources close to the situation, that decision was allegedly deliberate. A message. A flex. And depending on who you ask in Atlanta right now, an act of disrespect so calculated it could only have been intentional. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. The venue. The city. The timing. YoungBoy did not bring Lil Tum on stage in Baton Rouge. He did not bring him on stage in Houston or LA or New York. He allegedly chose Atlanta, Von's stomping ground, the city where OTF built some of its deepest roots, the same streets where Durk and Von used to move together before everything changed. That is not a coincidence. According to insiders, that was allegedly a coordinated statement, one designed to send a specific message to a specific person while hiding behind the plausible deniability of it being just another concert moment. Lil Durk saw it. OTF saw it. And reportedly, 50 Cent saw it too. Now stay right here because it gets worse. 50 has been watching this YoungBoy versus Durk situation from a distance for months. Publicly, he has made comments here and there, the kind of subtle jabs that only 50 knows how to throw, where you are not sure if he is joking or genuinely drawing a line in the sand. But according to sources close to his circle, 50's recent reaction to the Atlanta stage moment was allegedly anything but casual. Word on the street is that 50 made it very clear in private conversations that what YoungBoy did crossed a line. Not just a rap beef line, but a code line. And when 50 starts talking about codes being violated, historically, things escalate. But here is the twist nobody saw coming. 50's alleged issue is not just about Vaughn. It is reportedly about what the Atlanta move represents for the entire culture. The idea that you can allegedly parade the man connected to someone's death on a stage and face zero consequences because your streaming numbers are high enough to protect you. According to insiders, 50 allegedly told people close to him that this industry has gotten too comfortable letting certain things slide because the person doing them is profitable. And that kind of alleged commentary, coming from Curtis Jackson, a man who has survived label wars, attempted assassinations, bankruptcy, and industry blacklisting, carries a weight that a tweet from a regular artist simply does not carry. Include the specific detail that makes everything land harder. YoungBoy allegedly had Lil Tum perform a diss aimed directly at Lil Durk during that Atlanta set. Not just appear. Perform. According to multiple fan-recorded videos that circulated immediately after the show, Lil Tum was on that stage delivering bars that reportedly referenced Vaughn's death in a mocking tone. And the crowd, many of whom are YoungBoy's loyal fanbase, reportedly cheered. That image, that specific image of a crowd cheering while a man allegedly connected to King Vaughn's death performs in Atlanta, is reportedly what pushed 50 from observer to participant in this entire situation. Because here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. 50's breaking of silence was not just a comment. It was not just a repost or a story reaction. According to sources, 50 allegedly made a series of moves behind the scenes that suggest he is not simply reacting emotionally, he is allegedly building something. Positioning something. And in 50's history, when he starts positioning quietly before speaking loudly, the person on the other side of that attention rarely comes out unscathed. We are talking about a man who allegedly dismantled careers not with fists but with precision, with timing, with information, with a kind of calculated patience that turns a single Instagram post into a career-ending moment for whoever is in his crosshairs. And right now, YoungBoy is allegedly in his crosshairs. But what does 50 actually know? What is he allegedly sitting on? And why are sources close to the situation reportedly saying that what 50 is about to reveal goes far beyond this one concert moment, that it allegedly connects to label politics, to money that allegedly changed hands, and to a conversation that reportedly happened months before that Atlanta stage ever lit up? That answer is coming. But first, you need to understand exactly how deep Lil Durk's pain runs, and why the man who has been the quietest in this entire war may actually be the most dangerous player on the board right now. Lil Durk has not said a word publicly since the Atlanta footage dropped. And that silence, that specific, deliberate, calculated silence, is allegedly the loudest thing happening in hip-hop right now. Because anyone who knows Durk's history understands that he does not react immediately. He never has. When Vaughn died, Durk did not go on Instagram Live screaming. He did not post threats. He grieved quietly, he recorded quietly, and then when the time was right, he let the music speak in a way that made millions of people cry in their cars at 2 in the morning. That is who Durk is. Patient. Precise. And according to sources close to OTF, that patience right now is allegedly being tested in a way it has never been tested before, because this time it is not just grief. This time it is allegedly personal in a way that goes beyond music, beyond beef, beyond anything that can be resolved with a diss track. Because here is where it gets interesting. Durk has reportedly been in contact with people close to 50 Cent in the weeks following the Atlanta concert. Now that detail alone should make you stop scrolling. Lil Durk and 50 Cent do not exactly run in the same circles publicly. Their worlds overlap in the industry, but they have never been visibly aligned. So the fact that sources close to both camps are allegedly confirming communication between their teams is not a small detail. According to insiders, that communication reportedly centers around a shared perspective, that what YoungBoy did in Atlanta was not just disrespectful but was allegedly a coordinated escalation, one that both Dirk and 50 believe needs to be addressed not just emotionally but strategically. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. Strategy. That word keeps coming up when sources discuss both 50 and Dirk's alleged response to this situation. Not anger. Not revenge. Strategy. And when two of the most strategically minded figures in the history of this industry allegedly start moving in the same direction at the same time, the person they are allegedly moving toward should be paying very close attention right now. Because historically, when 50 Cent picks a target and moves with purpose, he does not miss. And when Lil Durk decides someone has crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed, the response allegedly comes from a place so cold and so calculated that the target does not even see it approaching until it has already landed. Now here is the twist. The Atlanta concert moment has allegedly opened up conversations that go much deeper than King Von's legacy. According to sources close to the situation, what is really being discussed behind closed doors is the alleged power structure that YoungBoy has built around himself, a structure that reportedly allows him to make moves like the Atlanta stage moment and face no internal pushback because everyone around him is either financially dependent on him or allegedly too loyal to question him. Word on the street is that YoungBoy's inner circle knew exactly what bringing Lil Tum on that Atlanta stage would mean to OTF and to Von's family, and they allegedly let it happen anyway. Not because they did not understand the consequences, but because allegedly, they believed YoungBoy was untouchable enough that the consequences would never actually reach him. That belief is reportedly being tested right now. Stay right here because it gets worse. 50 Cent's alleged breaking of silence came in layers. First there was the public comment, the kind of thing that gets clipped and posted and racked up millions of views within hours. But according to sources, behind that public comment was allegedly a much more detailed private conversation that 50 had with people he trusts, in which he reportedly laid out exactly why YoungBoy's move in Atlanta was not just disrespectful but was allegedly dangerous for the culture as a whole. 50 allegedly told associates that when you start allowing people connected to real street situations to perform on mainstream stages as if nothing happened, you are allegedly sending a message to every young person watching that accountability does not exist in this industry if you are popular enough. And 50, who built his entire brand on the idea that real recognizes real and that the streets have a memory, allegedly could not let that message go unchallenged. Because here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. The venue that hosted YoungBoy's Atlanta show has reportedly received significant backlash from community members connected to King Von's legacy since the concert footage went viral. According to sources familiar with the situation, there were allegedly conversations happening between OTF affiliates and people connected to the venue in the days following the show, conversations that reportedly centered around why no one on the production side flagged the appearance of Lil Tum before it happened or intervened once it was in progress. Whether those conversations led anywhere substantively is still allegedly unclear, but the fact that they reportedly happened at all suggests that the fallout from that stage moment extends far beyond a social media news cycle. This is allegedly real-world consequences territory now, and 50 sees that. More importantly, according to insiders, 50 allegedly sees an opportunity in this moment that goes beyond just defending Von's legacy. Reportedly, 50 has been vocal in private about the fact that YoungBoy's positioning in the independent music space, his refusal to sign to a major, his direct-to-fan model, his massive streaming numbers, represents a kind of power that the traditional industry does not know how to control. And allegedly, some of the people who feel most threatened by that power are people 50 has long-standing relationships with. Word on the street is that 50's alleged involvement in this situation is not purely emotional or cultural, it is reportedly also business. That allegedly, by positioning himself as the voice of accountability in this moment, 50 is simultaneously strengthening relationships with industry figures who have been looking for a credible way to challenge YoungBoy's narrative without appearing to be the ones who initiated it. In other words, allegedly, 50 is not just speaking up for Von. Allegedly, 50 is making a move. And YoungBoy, who has spent his entire career operating outside the traditional industry power structure, is allegedly about to find out what happens when that structure decides to use its weight, not through label deals or radio play or playlist placement, but through the one currency that even streaming numbers cannot override. Credibility. Street credibility. Cultural credibility. The kind of credibility that 50 Cent has spent 20 years building and protecting with a precision that most people in this industry can only observe from a distance and wonder how he does it. The kind of credibility that, when 50 allegedly points it directly at you and says this person crossed a line that the culture should not forgive, makes even your most loyal fans pause for just long enough to ask themselves a question they had never asked before. Is he right? And here is the thing about that question. Once it gets planted, it does not go away. It grows. Slowly at first, then all at once. And by the time the person being questioned realizes what is happening, the narrative has allegedly already shifted underneath them in a way that no Instagram live, no diss track, and no streaming milestone can fully reverse. YoungBoy built his empire on loyalty, on his fans believing in him completely and unconditionally. And 50 Cent allegedly just introduced the first crack. That crack is spreading faster than anyone in YoungBoy's camp reportedly anticipated. Because the Atlanta stage moment did not just upset OTF affiliates and 50 Cent, it allegedly triggered a much wider conversation across the entire hip-hop community about what is and is not acceptable when real lives and real deaths are involved. Social media in the days following the concert was allegedly flooded not just with fans debating the beef angle, but with artists, producers, and industry figures quietly, and in some cases not so quietly, signaling their discomfort with what YoungBoy had done. Most of them did not name it directly. Most of them framed it carefully, the way people in this industry always frame things when they want to say something without fully saying it. But the message was allegedly clear to anyone paying attention, that a line had been crossed, and that the usual hip-hop logic of letting beef be beef was not going to be sufficient cover for this particular moment. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. King Von's family has been watching all of this unfold in real time. His mother, his siblings, the people who actually knew Davon Bennett before he was King Von. They have allegedly been in contact with OTF and with people close to Lil Durk since the Atlanta footage circulated. According to sources familiar with those conversations, the family's response has reportedly been one of deep pain layered over something that sounds dangerously close to resolve. Word on the street is that Von's family is allegedly not content to let this moment pass as just another chapter in an ongoing rap beef, that they reportedly view what happened on that Atlanta stage as a desecration, and that they are allegedly in communication with people who have the resources and the platform to make sure the public understands exactly what was done and exactly who did it. When a family gets involved, when the people who are grieving the actual human being step out of the background and allegedly start making calls, the entire energy of a situation changes. And 50 knows that better than anyone. Stay right here because it gets worse. Now here is the twist that reframes everything you thought you understood about the story up until this point. The narrative being pushed in certain corners of the internet is that this entire situation is simply an extension of the YoungBoy versus Durk beef, that it is rap beef escalation, that it is clout chasing, that it is two sides trying to outmaneuver each other for cultural dominance heading into the back half of 2025. And on the surface, that framing is convenient. It is digestible. It lets people pick a side based on whose music they prefer and move on with their day. But according to sources close to multiple parties involved in this situation, that framing is allegedly exactly what certain people want you to believe, because as long as the public sees this as rap beef, nobody asks the harder questions. Nobody asks why a man allegedly connected to an unsolved street situation in the eyes of the culture, regardless of what the legal system decided, was given a platform on a major tour stage. Nobody asks who in YoungBoy's management chain allegedly approved that appearance, and whether they understood the full weight of what they were approving. And nobody asks the question that 50 Cent is allegedly now asking very loudly in private conversations with people who have the power to do something about it. Who benefits from keeping this framed as just rap beef? Because here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. The financial architecture around NBA YoungBoy's independent operation is reportedly far more complex than the public narrative of a rebel artist operating outside the system suggests. According to sources with alleged knowledge of his business dealings, YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label and its associated ventures reportedly have financial relationships with entities that have indirect ties to major label infrastructure, the same infrastructure that 50 Cent allegedly has deep relationships within. Word on the street is that 50's alleged involvement in this situation has reportedly caused significant discomfort among certain business partners who benefit from YoungBoy's commercial success and who allegedly view 50's public positioning as a threat to a financial arrangement that has been carefully kept out of public view. In other words, allegedly, there is money behind this silence. And 50 is allegedly about to make that silence very expensive to maintain. The cultural stakes of this moment cannot be overstated. Hip-hop has always operated with an internal code, a set of unwritten rules about what is acceptable and what crosses into territory that the culture itself will not protect you from regardless of your commercial standing. That code has been tested many times over the decades, and historically, the artists who violated it most visibly paid prices that their streaming numbers and their label deals could not cover. 50 Cent built his entire brand on understanding that code better than almost anyone in the industry, on knowing exactly when to invoke it, exactly how to frame a violation of it, and exactly how to position himself as the enforcer of it in a way that the public would receive as righteous rather than calculated. What he is allegedly doing right now is textbook 50. And YoungBoy, for all his undeniable talent and all his genuine connection to his fanbase, has allegedly never faced an opponent who operates at this level of precision before. His previous beefs have been emotional, reactive, street-coded in a way that his fans understood and respected. But 50 does not do emotional. 50 does not do reactive. 50 allegedly studies, prepares, positions, and then strikes at the exact moment when the target is most exposed. And right now, with the Atlanta footage still fresh, with Von's family allegedly making calls, with Dirk reportedly moving quietly in the background, and with industry figures allegedly choosing sides in ways that are not yet visible to the public, YoungBoy has never been more exposed than he is right now. The question that nobody can answer yet is what form 50's alleged response ultimately takes. A record? A documentary? A business move that removes a key piece of support from underneath YoungBoy's independent operation in a way that the public only understands after the fact? According to sources close to 50's camp, the answer is reportedly none of the above, and all of the above simultaneously. That 50 is allegedly preparing something that does not fit neatly into any category that YoungBoy or his team has prepared a response for. And that is the most dangerous kind of move in this industry. The kind you do not see coming until it has already changed everything. Von deserved better than what happened in Atlanta. The culture deserved better. And if the sources are right, if 50 is really moving the way people close to him are allegedly claiming he is moving, then what comes next is not going to feel like rap beef at all. It is allegedly going to feel like a reckoning. And here is the thing about reckonings. They do not announce themselves. They do not come with a press release or a rollout strategy or a carefully timed Instagram post. They arrive quietly, in the spaces between what people are saying publicly and what they are allegedly doing privately, and by the time everyone else realizes what has happened, the landscape has already changed permanently. So where does this go from here? Because several things are still unresolved in this story that should be keeping you up at night if you care about what happens to this culture. 50 has allegedly broken his silence, but the full weight of what he is reportedly positioning has not yet landed publicly. Dirk has said nothing, and that silence, as we discussed, is allegedly more loaded than any diss track he could have released. And Von's family is reportedly making calls that nobody in the mainstream media is covering yet, which means there is an entire chapter of this story that has not been written yet and that could allegedly change everything when it finally surfaces. The question nobody is asking, but everybody should be asking right now is this: if the culture truly has a code, and if that code was allegedly violated on that Atlanta stage in front of thousands of witnesses and millions of online viewers, then who exactly is responsible for enforcing it? Is it 50? Is it Dirk? Is it the fans who decide what they will and will not stream? Or is it allegedly the industry itself, the labels, the venues, the platforms, who have been profiting from all of this while quietly hoping nobody asks them to take a side? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Because this debate has no clean answer, and that is exactly why this comment section is about to go crazy. If this story matters to you, if Von's legacy matters to you, hit that like button right now. Not for the algorithm, but because this is allegedly one of those moments where silence means consent, and your engagement is the only thing that keeps stories like this from getting buried. Subscribe. Because this story, it is nowhere near over. And what allegedly comes next, we are not sure we are even allowed to say yet.